Now, folks, I've heard of this saying for a very long time. And the saying is this: a good job. Let me ask you this, folks. What is the definition of a good job? Take your time. Think about it. What is that? So if I came up to you and was like, hey, Andrew. Hey, Susie. Hey, Mohammed. Hey, Tom. You're going to get a good job, right? I would think that you would think that, Daniel, like, what are you talking about? Like, what does a good job mean to you? Right? Because a good job is subjective, right? Because what if you come up to me and you say, Daniel, what's a good job? And I'll say, well, man, honestly, anything that involves public speaking is a good job. Like, get into anything with public speaking, man, you're good. So acting, dope. Stand-up comedy, amazing. But then you go, well, but Daniel, what if I have stage fright? Is that still a good job for me? Oh, see, now it gets interesting. Now, take that, my friends. If you learn this, you're going to be so much better on in life. Ready for what I just said? Now, take that, flip the script. Now, let's go. You come up to you, go, hey, Daniel, what's a good job? Okay, man, you should be a doctor. Matter of fact, you should be a brain surgeon. You should be a neuro. You should go into neuro. That's what you should do. That's a good job. And then you go, well, Daniel, I faint when I see blood, and I really don't have any interest for the human anatomy. Is that still a good job for me? Do you understand what just happened there? I literally, almost literally, gave you the exact same example. I just switched the occupation but I tailored it to what I believe is a good job. Now, on the first one, you said, Daniel, it's ridiculous. Public speaking, is a good job. No. But all of a sudden, when we throw around a doctor is a good job, or an engineer is a good job, or a lawyer is a good job, brother, is that subjective or objective? If it's objective, how do you know? If I point to my phone and say that's a phone, we can all agree that's a phone. Doesn't matter whether you want to say it in English, in Farsi, in Swedish, man. A phone is a phone. But if I listen to a song and I say, hey man, this song's amazing, you listen to the song and say, Daniel, that absolutely sucks. That's subjective. We can look at the exact same thing but have different perspectives on it, and that's okay. It's just really, really important that we don't get objective and subjective mixed up, and that's what I constantly see happening. Hey man, do you know what a good job is? Who are you to tell me what a good job is? As if you know who I am. Now, I want to be careful. I don't want to get like this FU mentality, but I really just want you to start this thinking of like, man, what I say is a good job, and this is so beneficial to anyone who doesn't know which way they want to go in life. And don't worry, we're going to get to what subjects you can pick in high school and what you should do later on. But guys, it's really, really, really important that you understand. When I tell you, when Danial Mirsajadeen, Danial teaches, gives you a definition of a good job, I'm basing that off of my experience, my values, what I want in life, and the lifestyle that I want to live. Example. A good job for me is anything to do with public speaking. Why? Because I am a kick-ass public speaker. I don't mean to sound braggadocious. I suck at 1,000 things. I suck at too many things that I can't even name. Public speaking is what I'm good at. Thus, I maximize my strength. So acting, stand-up, whatever, it makes sense for me to teaching, go into that route. What kind of a lifestyle do I want to live? Well, I want to live a lifestyle where I'm constantly in front of people. I'm constantly traveling. Let's say, I own a big house. I have a yacht, whatever it may be. Now, there's a term I'm looking for. What is it called? If I project that onto you, you got to take a step back and go like, wait a minute. Daniel said, Daniel's like stand-up is an amazing job to go into because he's good at public speaking. Because he wants to live a certain way. Well, what if my biggest thing is security and benefits and I want to get a check every 2 weeks? Like that is a must for me. And I want a retirement plan. That is a must for me. Now the game's changed. Because now my definition of a good job and your definition of a good job are going to change drastically. Right? Your values, what you see in life. Folks, if there's one book I recommend you to read, it's an interesting one. It's called Rich Dad, Poor Dad's Cash Flow Quadrant. And Cash Flow Quadrant, the basis of the book is this. Your personality plays a huge role in the job that you go into. For example, if you're someone who likes to be safe, who likes to be secure, who likes to have things organized, you want the check. You want the check every 2 weeks, right? You want to work for an employer. You want to work for an employer. You want to be a part of a team. You just want to help the wagon go by, right? It has its benefits, it's safe. You want to be an employee. Like that's the way to go. You're a safe person. You like things being organized. You don't like working past, 5 p.m. on a weekday. You don't like working on weekends. Like that's awesome for you. If you're someone who likes to micromanage everything, if you're someone who wants to do everything themselves, if you're someone who wants to be a perfectionist, who wants to work as hard as they can, and you don't have to depend on anyone else, you, my friend, are perfect for self-employed jobs, like a lawyer who opens up his own little place, like a doctor who opens up his own clinic, a place where you can micromanage everything. Now, how does self-employed differ from a business owner or an employer? It's because those people, they create a system that works for them, and they don't have this requirement to micromanage everything. They're okay with handing out tasks. So it really, again, depends on your personality, not to mention, how open are you to risks? How much trust do you have in other people? So all these things factor in. And finally, he also talks about being an investor. And obviously, again, the risks that you have to take, the money that you have to have, you think differently. So you understand that the job that you go into, whatever good job you want, you have to think a certain way, right? You have to behave a certain way. You have to have a certain kind of mentality, and you will fit that job like a glove. That's why you hear people who are so, I want to travel the world, build my own business. They're like, dude, living hell would be being in a cubicle 9 to 5. Like I couldn't do it. But dude, that's his vision. That's not yours. We've had this big dialogue for a while now. Everybody should go to school. If you don't go to school, man, you're a bum. You got to go to university. You got to go to college. Man, I don't think that's true for every single person. I think there are exceptions. I think there are different things that you can do. On the contrary, if I was to come out and be like, everybody should drop out of school, everybody should start a small business, is that not hypocrisy at its finest? Where I say, guys, everybody shouldn't do this, but I say, everybody should do this. What's the difference between saying everybody should be a doctor and everybody should be an entrepreneur? No, man, some people suck at the entrepreneurial life. You don't like social media. You don't like putting yourself out there. You don't give a damn about marketing. You don't want to take the risks that you need to take. You don't have it in you. You don't have the stomach to be rejected. Man, get away from that stuff, dude. Cling to whatever you can that is not in the entrepreneurial life.